Good morning and welcome to Unity on Demand with Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing. This is brought to you courtesy of the coronavirus. We're all staying safe, staying sheltered at home. So we bring this to you virtually. Otherwise, we'd be meeting at the Fletch. Today is an exciting day for me because I received a note last week offering to share talents and a message with us at Unity from our friend Daniel Nahmod, who has visited us before, and we use many of his songs during our Sunday services. So today he is going to provide a message that I think you'll find will touch your heart in very tender ways and lift up your spirits. Daniel.
Hello, this is Daniel Nahmod. How are you all in Lansing? I'm here in Orange County, California, in my garage. It's too long a story to tell you about why I'm in the garage, but it just turns out to be the best place to share with you and sing for you today. I'm super excited to be able to visit you virtually. Obviously, nobody's getting on any planes these days, but I did want to reach out to say hi and to tell you that I hope you're all doing well. I know it has been a complicated stretch of time since I was there, and just know that I've thought of you and care about you, and I offered and asked Sharon if I could drop in and share with you for this weekend, and she was very kind to say yes. So I have a few thoughts to share and a couple of songs. Let's begin with this. I've seen my share of struggle when I thought that I knew best, when I've sailed through a storm instead of stopping to rest. But it always seems the hardest when I've made up my stubborn mind. Well, I'm changing my ways this time. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Have you ever seen an eagle head straight into the wind? Doesn't pick a fight, spreads his wings and just gives in. And in the end he always makes it home just fine. Guess he knows that every storm subsides. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. I'll let nature take its course. No more thinking that I know where this river's meant to go. I have railed against the stars for the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery I've never won, for the heartache that I've felt. But it always seems when I let go of expectation and regret, life has plenty of surprises for me yet. I wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. What I've been thinking about, among other things lately, is how little we all know right now about kind of anything large scale, anything national, anything political, anything medical. Everything's unprecedented. Every opinion seems to contradict the previous. Every politician seems to contradict the other. Every data point, every stock market move, every prognosis and prediction. When will it end? How will it end? Will it end? When do we leave our houses? What happens when we do? Should I wear a mask? Should I not? Why isn't he? Why am I? Is there medicine? How do you catch this? How do you not catch this? Am I immune? Will I ever be immune? What happens with school? What happens with the office? What happens with football? What happens with the economy? What happens with unemployment? And on and on and on. The questions vastly outnumber and outgun the answers right now. I mean, there has never been a time that I can think of. Maybe a closest I can think of would be September 11th, 2001, when so much seemed up in the air. But nothing like now. And it is a strange and unsettling feeling, I think, for many of us. Not only don't we know some fundamentals, but it doesn't seem like anybody knows. All of a sudden the experts are disagreeing with each other. Or they're openly saying, we don't know. This is our best guess, our best estimate, our best model predicts, and on and on. But it raises the question, what do we ever know? And what do we need to know? What are you sure of most of the time? I used to take my friend's son to school with my friend. Okay, my friend's name is Todd. Todd and I used to drive his son to school when I was in town in Austin, where Todd lives. I would drive with him to drop off his boy when his boy was maybe 7, 8, 9. He's now 25, so there I am, creaky and old. But anyway, and Todd is not a sentimental, not openly sentimental person. He's not even a particularly communicative person most of the time. Relatively quiet, kind of introverted, smart, nice, one of my favorite people, basically a brother all these years. But he said something one day when we dropped off his son at school. His son kind of, ran off from the car into his school. And Todd said, "Every day when I say goodbye to my boy, I wonder if I'll ever see him again." Now, I didn't have any kids. I was far from it, years and years away from having Jude. I said, "Really? Every time?" He said, "Every time, I wonder." And it seemed like my first thought was sadness, but it actually ultimately has come around to feeling like a pretty profound awareness. He was a young dad, pretty profound awareness for him to have, that he didn't know for sure how the day would play out for anyone involved. And that is, of course, always true. Now, most days, in most ways, the predictable happens, the likely happens, the familiar happens, the usual happens. In most ways, in most days, in most lives. And that does get us into a sense of, call it safety or security, that we are in the zone, we're in our comfort zone, we're in the familiar, We can anticipate 5:45, Daddy walks in the door. 2:30, school is out. Whatever it is we think we can count on. Only in the back of our minds do I think we retain the awareness that it's not set in stone that today will play out the way we think it will. Certainly not set in stone that tomorrow will play out the way we think it will. In fact, most of us really don't give much thought to exactly how tomorrow will play out, and I think probably unconsciously it's because we know that we actually don't know. But most days, I think we walk around with a fair amount of certainty. And as I say that sentence, I think of the sight I saw maybe 6 weeks ago, approximately for the first time in my life, which was that I went into a grocery store and most of the shelves were empty. Now, we are fortunate beyond measure in America. Our food supply doesn't get interrupted. We don't have famine like Ethiopia has had. We don't have unending civil war like Congo has had. We don't have financial crises and runs on the bank like Venezuela has had. We don't have long lines for toilet paper like the Soviet Union used to have. But there we were walking into grocery stores. I imagine it's the same for you as it was for me. And there were empty shelves, lots of them. And 6 weeks, 7 weeks later, some of them are still empty. It's still sparse, certain sections. Now, so what did we know about America? What did we know about the availability of food? And how accurate was our knowing? The answer is the knowing was not quite an illusion. That might be too strong a word. But the knowing was more an assumption than a knowing. And yet it does manage to lull us into a feeling that the familiar is where we're safe. I mean, as my bubby used to say, my dad's mom used to say, you know what you got, but you don't know what you're going to get. And she didn't mean it in a good way. She meant, I'll stick with the familiar, thank you very much. The trick is that knowing when you don't actually know, it's comforting, but it's a little bit of a game we play. And it can be crippling, actually, when we think we know, and crippling when we are suddenly confronted with not knowing. Reminds me of this song, which I'll share with you now. When things go wrong, it's natural to wonder, what celestial rule did I break? When things go right, it's logical to ponder, what credit can I take? But the truth is so much easier. I don't need a master plan. I can live here in the moment, 'cause my life is in good hands. I don't need to know where the wind blows. God knows. I don't need to know what the future holds. God knows. how my heart mends. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. Well, still I find I'm crying out for answers. Guess I'm still craving control. And still I find I'm afraid of taking chances, as if I could damage my soul. But at this moment I remember it comes so clear to me that the minute I surrender, I'm as safe as I could be. I don't need to know where the time goes, 'cause God knows. I don't need to know what the future holds, 'cause God knows. I need never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. Oh, I need never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can just let go. I can just let go. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. God knows. God knows. Now, I had just said that the illusion or the belief that we know something can be crippling, just as there's a giant fly up there. Oh, it's not a fly, it's a bee. How exciting. I wonder if he's hungry. Or feeling like a fight. I hope not. Poor guy's looking for a way out, and all he sees is lights. Sorry, Sharon, I'm sure you're going to have to cut this part out. I'll just press stop and continue.
Take a brief pause now so that Daniel can take care of the bee. Hopefully it's not a murder hornet that's hanging around. Daniel, we just welcome you back.
And before I sang, I said that knowing can be crippling, just as not knowing can be crippling. And you might be thinking, I don't think I'm not held back from acting when I know. But actually, sometimes we won't start something because we're sure how it's going to turn out. We're told that it's futile. No, don't take that class. You're not cut out for that job. Don't even try to get that degree. moving to that city, it never goes well. Whatever it is, we hear certainty from somebody and we take it as our own. We want to believe that there are experts, of course, and there are plenty of people willing to volunteer for that job. And therefore, we take their knowing, or this illusion of knowing, as reason to act or to not act. And right now, I feel like we are so not sure that we all have a tendency in this situation to wait until we're sure. You might be wondering what I'm talking about. Wait for what? Well, you fill in the blank. Wait to try something. Wait to enroll in something. Wait to apply for something. Wait to write something. Wait to say something to somebody you love. Wait to make a phone call. Wait to make an investment. Wait to do research on a city you've always wanted to move to, or wait to look into cruises, of all things, to an island you've always wanted to visit. Waiting seems like the prudent and careful choice right now in the context of not knowing so much. But what I'm noticing is that just as this not knowing right now is an extreme example, but actually not all that uncommon. In other words, even when people claim to know they don't, this just happens to be a dramatic example of it. But financial planners never know. Politicians never know. In most circumstances, the medical profession doesn't know. It thinks it's based on data. They're scientists. But they don't know. They think they can predict. You name the field right now that feels especially unsettled and confusing, and I would suggest that if you reframe it and take a step back from it, you might very well find that that's not all that different than it always is. Maybe more scary, maybe more predominant in a way. But as an example, I saw a headline in the New York Times a week ago or so, and it said, "Experts say the economy may never be the same again." It sounds scary. Well, the economy will never be the same again. Let's go ahead and say that, because the economy is never the same again. No 2 days in a row. They might as well say, experts say the weather will never be the same again. And I'm not being flip. I was an economics major. I understand kind of what they're saying. The economy may never be the same again. And what is the natural reaction is to clench up, worry, fear. Oh my, has my job disappeared? Will people never come into my restaurant again? I mean, I understand the questions are real. I'm a living example. Will I ever be booked to sing somewhere again? Well, my industry was changing before this started. It was changing to streaming and online. So I could say, oh my God, my industry will never be the same again. But newsflash, my industry was never going to be the same again. Some changes are accelerating, some changes are slowing. But change was already happening in every area, and the uncertainty was always there. Always. There's a famous, well, famous in my mind, a famous meta-analysis of all economic predictions by financial planners. It was an analysis of 50 years of so-called experts of financial planning, predicting stock market rises and falls. Okay? And the analysis of 50 years, a statistical analysis of 50 years, of financial planner advice revealed that the predominant financial planning advice is correct just under 50% of the time. Which means most of the time, at least in the long term, you could flip a coin and be a teeny bit right than the people who have MBAs and are, they're experts in their field, but they don't know. They don't know. And they never have. Every time you turn on the TV or open a book, a nonfiction book particularly, every time a politician's talking, every time a talking head on a commentary is talking, the pitch is that they know and they're going to tell us. The reality is they think and they're going to tell us. Very rarely do you hear somebody say, here's what I think, but I could be wrong. That would be a truly honest, but too humble for TV approach to advice, right? We would all think that's pretty wishy-washy. I'm gonna go next door to the woman who knows, not just says she might know, right? Or another example I've always enjoyed is butter will kill you. Wait. No, butter is good for you. We thought we knew, but now we know butter is really good for you. Slather. Wait, no, I'm sorry. We thought we knew, now we know butter is bad for you. Very bad. Salt, bad for you. Wait, no, now we know it's good for you. Wait, no, now we know it's bad for you. And you never hear somebody say, we thought we knew, but now we think. Almost never. It's always now we know. As if it's set in stone and the question is resolved. Or, similar to how humans are inclined to think that we have stopped evolving because here we are and we've got it all sorted out. 10 fingers, working great. Appendix, who needs it? The hair on the top of my head is slowing down, but I guess that's just the way it was meant to be. Well, we're actually evolving still, and it's a snapshot in time, and we can't perceive it. It's too much time passing, millions, billions of years, we can't imagine. But for us, we think it's locked in and sure. Or another one of my favorite examples, and I'll stop giving examples in a second, is to arrive at the gate of Arches National Park in Utah, where I wrote the water songs. You're handed a map of where the arches are. And I always thought, that's adorable. That we would print, presumably, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of copies of this map, as if the arches were put there by Walt Disney and are maintained on a nightly basis so that they'll never fall. And in fact, they are falling all the time. And rising all the time. And when you take a hike to see one of these arches in Arches National Park, you're walking on red dirt, but that's not red dirt. That's former arches. Lots of time goes by. Everything is changing all the time. So is it crippling to find that not only does nobody know right now what the hell is going on, but they kind of never know? My experience is that it's actually the opposite of crippling. It's actually liberating. Waiting to know is a fool's delay. In my experience, I'm a hypocrite and I fail a million times for every success, right? But to wait to know right now feels like, to me, a missed opportunity. Now, I'm not here to tell you what the missed opportunity is. That's your business. Maybe there is none. Maybe you're seizing the day. Maybe you don't want to seize the day. Maybe you've gladly unseized the day. I've heard from people who are thrilled to be at home resting, letting go of everything they've ever strived for. But I think most of us are sort of like chomping at the bit, like, held back by the gate, at the beginning of a horse race, waiting until somebody says, You're safe. Congratulations. Go forth and prosper. Go forth and chase the dream. Go forth and buy the house. Go forth and book the vacation. But not yet. Wait. Now we're all waiting. We're holding on until we know. And I don't think we need to. This is just food for thought or not for you. Are you waiting? If so, what are you waiting for? We've all heard this kind of story. Somebody's diagnosed that their time is suddenly short. And in the back of our minds we wonder, what if that news was mine? Would we do more of the same with the moments that remain? Would we live like we were dying? Why wait? Why wait for that fateful fall, for that wake-up call? Why wait until it's too late? There is only today. We've all heard this kind of story. An earthquake strikes the coast of a distant land. It seems like every time we come together as humankind, we make a different choice. Kindness cuts through all the noise, and we're suddenly united. Why wait? Why wait for that pouring rain, for that hurricane? Why wait until it's too late? There is only today. Why wait? Oh, and when an ambulance goes by, everybody pulls aside. The holidays put smiles on every face. So tell me, what's the reason why we need excuses to decide we are part of only one human race? We've all heard this kind of story. Someone keeps her dream a secret all her life. Why wait? Why wait? 'Cause if we don't try, oh, that dream may die. Why wait until it's too late? Let the future fall away. Let regret evaporate. There is only today. Why wait? In closing, I just want to make one final suggestion about this time, in case it's helpful, and if it's not, fair enough. In this time when so much external, so much worldly activity has been interrupted, if you're anything like me, which maybe you're not, one of the things I wait to do most is to sit and think, to check in how I'm feeling and how I'm doing and what I'm wanting and where I'm wanting to go. I could be on autopilot for days, weeks, months, or years, and I have been, different times in my life. I didn't even notice that something was ready to be born, or something was ready to die. In this quiet time, if I do nothing else but stop for a minute and pay attention, then I am most definitely not waiting. Instead, I am opening up to the next chapter of my life. I'm literally saying, what's next? And I'm not allowing any of the outside fear or circumstance to affect that process, right? That process doesn't need a national park to be open, or a mall to be open, or a school to be open, or an office to be open. That process, there's no need to wait at all. And maybe I say this because I am a cynic naturally. When I say I don't need to know, half of me completely disagrees. It just does. Half of me says, Danny, you need to know. I'm a child of lawyers. Some of you have heard me talk about it. Child of lawyers, economics major in college, former computer programmer. I've got the cynical and calculated side down. That side believes it needs to know, needs to plan. That side also believes that experts know what I don't, and they will tell me, and they will lead the way. My experience tells me that experts are to be added to the mix, incorporated, listened to, but not blindly followed. It's an ingredient. Expertise on what to do is an ingredient that goes into the mix of me. And right now, the mix of me is wanting a new flavor. Maybe you feel the same. I didn't expect my livelihood to evaporate, and nobody did. I didn't expect planes to be grounded. Nobody did. I didn't expect a disease to sweep the world. Nobody did. So what do I do now? Do I wait until some clouds clear, until we get an all-clear sign from somebody in leadership, whether with a PhD or a elected office? Or do I take a deep breath, know that I'm okay, that I've always been okay, that I'll always be okay, and allow the opportunity for quiet and calm and inactivity to become a non-waiting time? This is a listening time. This is a formulating time, a creating time, an imagining time. There is nothing waiting about it. That would be my wish for you, if it feels right for you. I hope you stay well and are feeling well and are doing okay, you and your family and friends and your community. I send my love from my heart to yours. I'm so glad I got a chance to sing for you and talk to you today. And I really hope to visit you again sometime soon, or not soon, who knows, in the future. But you've got such a wonderful leader, such a real human being at the helm of your community. I am a fan of Sharon, and I just know that all will be well for you, as all will be well for me and my family over here. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful week. Bye.
Thank you, Daniel. What a treat to have you join us. Wow, I just want to give you a standing ovation virtually here, but then you would only see my belly, not the most attractive part in here. For those of you that enjoy Daniel's music, he's doing these wonderful free concerts on Facebook every night. It's 8 o'clock our time. Tonight through Thursday is the last of the series that he's been doing, so you can just kind of seep yourself in. We call some of his music hymns for humanity, and you can just really tell he writes from that idea of oneness of all of us. So again, thank you, Daniel. I can't tell you how much I appreciate this, and I'm sure all of us are blessed by it. Well, this is a time in our service when we meet in person, but we still do it online to celebrate our prosperity by sharing of our gifts. And I do want to thank you again for all those that have been supporting us financially, either through checks in the mail or online. And today, actually, we just sent off our first Congregants Choice check to Haven House. It was about $380. So that was a wonderful donation for them, and I'm sure they will be pleased when they receive it. But as we do each week when we come to this part of our service, really is that prayerful time of gratitude. So I invite you to just take that moment moving into your heart, into that deep space within, recognizing the many gifts that we have been given, our health, whatever financial support we are receiving in our homes, as well as our ministry here, the gifts of friendship, of sharing, of love, gift of music. And so we take a moment to turn to prayer as we affirm divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I praise, give thanks, and am glad. And so it is. Amen. Well, this completes part 2, and I hope you will binge watch if you haven't seen Winnie sing How Beautiful and our opening prayers and music. And then, of course, we do have a meditation that you can sit and be in meditation whenever that time is right for you, that you can take that little time apart. So God bless, and thank you for joining with us.